Boris Johnson will face Jeremy Corbyn in a head-to-head debate later, after he was berated by Andrew Neil for refusing to do an interview on his BBC show. Neil said that if the Prime Minister is expected to face the likes of Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin, then he should be able to sit down for a half-hour interview with him. Mr Johnson has been accused of running scared from scrutiny by avoiding in-depth questioning from the veteran broadcaster, even though rival leaders, including Mr Corbyn, have taken part. The Prime Minister, who has also refused to do an interview on ITV, will debate Mr Corbyn on the BBC on Friday night, with less than a week to polling day. Some 6.7 million people tuned in when the pair took part in a head-to-head debate on ITV last month. On Thursday night, Neil challenged Mr Johnson to finally agree to an interview on the theme of trust and why voters have deemed him to be untrustworthy. Addressing viewers directly following his interview with Brexit Party leader Nigel Farage, Neil said he wanted to put questions of trust to the Prime Minister. Questions we'd like to put to Mr Johnson so you can hear his replies. But we can't, because he won't sit down with us. There is no law, no Supreme Court ruling, that can force Mr Johnson to participate in a BBC leader's interview. But the Prime Minister of our nation will, at times, have to stand up to President Trump, President Putin, President Xi of China. So it was surely not expecting too much that he spend half an hour standing up to me, he said. Neil, who outlined policy issues on which he would question Mr Johnson, said leaders' interviews had been a key part of the BBC's primetime election coverage for decades, adding, "We do them on your behalf to scrutinise and hold to account those who would govern us. That is democracy. We've always proceeded in good faith that the leaders would participate. And in every election they have. All of them. Until this one. It is not too late. We have the interview prepared. Oven ready, as Mr Johnson likes to say. The theme running through our questions is trust, and why at so many times in his career, in politics and journalism, critics and sometimes even those close to him have deemed him to be untrustworthy. It is, of course, relevant to what he is promising us all now." The Tories declined to comment. Liberal Democrat leader Joe Swinson said, "Boris Johnson must stop ducking scrutiny. His cowardly behaviour shows why he simply isn't fit to be Prime Minister." Earlier, ITV confirmed that Mr Johnson has refused to participate in their series of leader interviews with Julie Etchingham. ITV said they contacted Mr Johnson's press team on repeated occasions with times and dates, but that his team confirmed on Thursday that he will not be tacky. For more on this story, visit the news article link.